Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So, as you know, Wednesday means Wildcard Wednesday here at Instant Deck Tech Land, and this week for our Wildcard Instant Deck Tech, we are heading to Standard to check out a super sweet mono black deck. I'm calling this Gifted Black because it's built around a new uncommon from Aether Revolt, Gifted Aetherborn, and it's not really Aetherborn Tribal, but it does have some Aetherborn in the deck. It's a lot of powerful black cards, all up the curve, really good removal, some planeswalkers. It looks like a really sweet deck. So this one took Yuno DeJiro to a undefeated finish in a small Japanese tournament, so congrats to Yuno on their finish with the deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So, Gifted Black is built around Gifted Aetherborn, and Gifted Aetherborn has been compared to a Vampire Nighthawk. It is 2 mana, you get a 2/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink, and this just does so many things. It shuts down so many aggressive cards, it gains you life, and then in the late game, it's not that bad off the top, because it can take down any ground creature in the format thanks to Death Touch. So this card is just so strong against anything that's looking to attack and get your life total down, because it gains you some life incidentally and just does a great job of attacking and playing on defense. It's a very flexible card for only 2 mana. And then in the 3-drop slot, we get another Aetherborn, Yahani Undying Partisan. This one doesn't have any real specific synergy in the deck. There's not really like an Artifact Aristocrats thing where you're sacking stuff and doing all that. However, the deck really is overloaded on powerful removal. So if you play Yahani on turn 3 and then start killing your opponent's stuff on turn 4, you're just going to keep growing your Yahani, and then if you need to, you can always sack a Gifted Aetherborn or another creature to make it indestructible if your opponent tries to do it, and eventually your 3-drop is going to be the biggest thing on the board. Also nice off the top of your deck with haste. You can get in some surprise damage that way, maybe close out the game. Moving up the curve, in our 4-drop slot, we get 3 Kalitas Trader of Get, another life-linking threat. This deck seems very strong against aggressive builds because you just get so much incidental life gain. And then Mind Rack Demon, one of the big cards at Pro Tour Aether Revolt was Heart of Kirin. That was kind of the breakout card in the Mardu Vehicles deck. Mind Rack Demon just shuts down Heart of Kirin all by itself. You get a 4/5 flyer, they get a 4/4 flyer, they can't really attack you. You have this big threat. Eventually, you can beat down with it in the air and take over the game. And then at the top of the curve, we got Demon of Dark Schemes, which is excellent against a board full of Toolcraft Exemplars and other small creatures, veteran motorists, things like that your opponent's using to crew up their vehicles. So very good in aggro matches, and then you can eventually reanimate some stuff with it by getting some energy from killing your opponent's stuff. Like I said, deck is overloaded on removal that we'll talk about in a minute. Sort of a removal spell, come to think of it, is Noxious Gearhulk. It's kind of expensive, but you get a creature, it's even more life gain. So what you can see so far, even with just the creatures, this deck is very dedicated to gaining life, very dedicated to beating aggressive decks, and that trend kind of continues when you look at the removal. 4 Fatal Push means you're not going to have any trouble killing Heart of Kirin from your opponent, Toolcraft Exemplars, all these aggressive creatures that are just so prevalent right now. Grasp of Darkness as a backup kills even bigger things, and then if you gotta kill something really big that dodges your Fatal Push and Grasp of Darkness, Murder kills any creature in the format, and Ruinous Path is like a murder that can hit a Planeswalker too. Then we have some discard to kind of disrupt the opponent. Collective Brutality does it all. You can kill a little creature, go duress mode, even gain some more life if you need to. Transgress deals with Planeswalkers, Sky Sovereigns, big things like that. Live Fast, make sure you always have some cards in your deck. Also gives you a little bit of energy. This deck doesn't have many energy synergies, but it does help power up your Demon of Dark Schemes if you decide to go in reanimation mode. And then to close out the main deck, we get a couple of Planeswalkers. So 3 Liliana the Last Hope, also very good in aggro matches, just shoots down little creatures like Toolcraft Exemplar all day long, and it does pressure control decks as well because it ultimates fairly quickly while kind of keeping a threat under control, and then the ultimate admit, why it takes a little while, is pretty much unbeatable. Eventually those zombies are going to win the game. And just one Ob Nixilis for a little more card draw, a little more removal, does a little bit of everything. Mana base, super simple. 23 swamps, 2 blighted fens as additional removal. In the sideboard, a ton more removal. Yahani's expertise, great against aggressive decks, sweeps away the board of small creatures, can hit Winding Constrictor in the green-black matchups, actually kills a lot of things in the format. To the Slaughter, another way to get creatures and planeswalkers. Ruinous Path, also planeswalker removal. Ob Nixilis and Liliana come in control matchups, so you have more resilient threats sitting on the battlefield. Lost Legacy fights the copycat combo, can do other things as well, but primarily gets rid of one specific combo piece, like Felidar Guardian or Saheeli Rai. Transgress the Mind to pressure your opponent's hand, great in more controlling matchups, and Hope of Gurapur to kind of keep your opponent from interacting with you, can fizzle a Wrath, let you force through a Planeswalker or something against counter magic, and that is Gifted Black for Aether Revolt Standard, and that's our instant deck tech for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.